Hey, how you doing? I'm Seth.
And I'm Will.
And we're here today to do a product spotlight on the Martin Logan Motion50 XTi tower speaker. So when COVID came around, we had a lot to do. Not with work, because basically life was closed.
Yeah.
But we wanted to work on our office and work on our business. So we said, oh, let's bring in some new speakers and let's see what some of these new lines are all about. So we brought in Martin Logan's line. They've been famous for a long time for their electrostatic designs. This kind of crazy screen door here, where there's a thin film material. They use an electric charge to give you sound both directions, and they sound fantastic. They go up to about 80,000 bucks a pair. But today we wanted to talk about their conventional design, where you've got a regular tweeter, regular mid-range, and woofers inside. And initially, some of the specs for you numbers guys are 66 pounds. So don't go dropping it on your foot.
Nope.
It will hurt.
No.
They are 94 dB sensitive. That means you don't have to have crazy amplifiers like this Parasound Halo at 4,500 bucks to push the things. If you have a regular surround sound receiver that's $500, $700, you'll be just fine. Crossed over at 200 hertz and what are they? 400 hertz and 2200 hertz for you super number guys. And one of the things we want to talk about initially is going to be their folded motion tweeter. Folded motion, it looks like it's this big, but it's this big. Is that frightening? Ooh.
It got bigger.
Well, one of the benefits of that is by having this folded motion tweeter, the tweeter itself is 2.4 by 1.25 inches. It takes up the space that you would normally find out of 9 or 10 1-inch soft dome tweeters. So it allows it to be very quick and very responsive and very sensitive. Again, you don't have to have a lot of power to push them. One thing also that Martin Logan really talks about with these is controlled dispersion. So the Canadian government, about 45 years ago, they must have had a lot of spare money or something.
Yeah, definitely.
They said, hey, what sounds good? So they took 5,000 or so Canadians and they go, all right, double blind test. Listen to this, what sounds best? And their take was after 5,000 humans, Canadians, they said wide dispersion, low distortion, and what was the third thing? Oh, flat frequency response. Those are the three things that humans like when listen to sound. Oh. So wide dispersion is where a tweeter sends out 180 degrees of sound. So it fills up the whole room.
Like a sprinkler.
Like a sprinkler, exactly, so you don't get wet. Downside though is, let's say you've got hard surfaces, let's say you got tile, wood, you got glass everywhere, you got high ceilings. Wide dispersion gives you sound bouncing off everything. So it really adds to the, hey, what'd the guy say?
Yeah.
Controlled dispersion, you got 80 degrees this way, you got 30 degrees this way. And it really helps to give you a focused beam of sound. Again, no more, I gotta turn on the subtitles, what'd the guy say? So, that's folded motion tweeter, 6.5 inch aluminum cone woofer. My take is the bigger the mid-range, the more of that impact that you get, and being that most things that we listen to, especially with movies, are in that mid-range range, you really want something that's going to give you a lot of punch, and these things on paper do it. And we'll tell you about what we heard in a minute or two here. Then down here, you got two 8-inch woofers, aluminum, big beefy cast basket. So on paper you get a ton of punch out of these things. You got a big cabinet to resonate air as well. So all that stuff looked good on paper. So we said, hey, let's get a listen to these things with movies. Let's get a listen with music and see what we think. So one of the other things we did with COVID, again, we had nothing to do in the office. Let's better ourselves. So we also added the matching center channel, Martin Logan Motion50. We added, you can't see them because our camera doesn't have 4 eyes and look behind itself, but there was a pair of FX speakers back here on the wall. We got some Atmos speakers in the ceiling. And this replaced a Definitive Technology surround sound speaker package we had in here before. Definitive Technology, it's good stuff. We still carry it, but right away, all of us noticed instantly a huge difference in impact, detail, clarity. For the rear channel, we noticed that there was just a whole wall of sound that we didn't see before. So we were definitely sold on that. So when it comes to the movie, the first track we listened to, it's one of our favorites. So Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. There's a scene where you got 3-foot hobbits fighting 50-foot elephants. And It's a pretty bad battle unless you're a 50-foot elephant.
Yeah, the odds.
Then you're stoked. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm fighting?
Yeah.
This is not a problem. But anyways, in that track, there's all sorts of things going on. It's one of the reasons we use it as one of our main surround sound demos. You got vocals, so you can tell if the vocals are clear or not. In this case, vocals were incredibly clear. There was no, hey, what did the guy say? You could hear everything going on. Ton of mid-range attack and presence. So there's a scene where 50-foot elephants going along, it sees a human, stomps it into red paste. It was great. Really got a lot of that impact from that. Also 50-foot elephants probably weigh, I don't know if there was a 50-foot elephant, you could probably do the math. Extrapolate.
Yeah,
it's
like
got to be 1,000,000 tons, right?
Yeah, half a school bus, maybe
At least.
a full school bus.
Yeah. At least 1,000,000 tons.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you got your footprint, your feet, 1,000,000 tons. It's pretty heavy, right? Well, we got crazy bass out of these things. We were blown away. It sounded fantastic for movies. Then we went on to some music.
Yeah.
So there's it's a track from Led Zeppelin live at the MSG, Dazed and Confused. Normal Dazed and Confused is probably, I don't know, 4 minutes or something, 5 minutes.
Around there. Yeah.
This thing's a 23-minute music masterpiece, and from 4 minutes to 8 minutes, there is no Dazed and Confused. It's just crazy musicianship. And I was ready to go find a gorilla and fight it, or run my head through the wall or something.
Yeah. 70s mosh pit, maybe.
Sounded amazing. And really the idea of good speakers and good music is where you're not thinking you're listening to some boxes, but you close your eyes and you can hear the musicians or the scene in front of you. That's what they did. Will had mentioned something earlier about speakers and how some speakers might sound good with flamenco music. One might sound good with, remember that?
Yeah.
That was like 3 minutes ago. What's
Yeah.
going on here?
The flamenco is that infomercial with Stefan, the flamenco player. Yeah. But
Oh yeah, yep. Some sound good with classical, but not as good with other things. So Mark was laughing at my Led Zeppelin, so I threw on some DMX for him. Mark, how was your DMX experience?
Good.
There you go. Mark is a man of few words, but that's it. Great bass, great impact. His guttural roars, rows, whatever DMX does. It was like he was there. Then put on Sting, I Burn For You. We had some clients in here the other day. We were playing 2 speakers, and they couldn't believe that this speaker wasn't playing. Now, the speaker wasn't playing, so I had them get out of the chair here and go over and, that thing's actually not playing. These speakers image so well that even though we got a speaker here and right over the other side of Will here, they just give a whole wall of sound. And with that wall of sound, you can hear where the different instruments are placed. And Sting was singing right here. They thought there was a speaker there and it wasn't. And they image in just a fantastic manner.
the sound stage, image, the depth of field, whatever that you want to call it. It sounds like Sting was right there, literally.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were talking before about, some speakers sound good with something and not with others. So we had a pair of Focal bookshelf speakers in here. Good brand, they make good stuff. The speaker's about $1,700 for these little bookshelves. And if you are a super drummer guy, you'll probably like the way they sound because their tweeter sounds just like a cymbal. Cymbal hits, it's like, there's a cymbal in my room. We had some B&Ws in here. They're bookshelves, a little smaller, about $1,500 a pair. If you're a Guitar God guy, 3 Gs. If you're a Guitar God guy, you probably like those because the strings sound really forward, like they're right in front of you. But they may not do as well with other types of music. These things are fantastic because they sound good with everything. Everything.
Yeah.
They are now my best speaker, best seller, whatever you want to call it. I'd say under $5,500 a pair. And we ended up putting an article on our blog showing best of 2020. These are there. What do you got to say about these things?
Yeah,
I know I've said a lot here. But
the speakers aren't picky. You don't need a $5,000 Macintosh preamp and amp to power them to have them sound good. You can just use a nice little RX Yamaha or SR 5018 Marantz, and you're going to have enough power to power them, right?
Yep.
And no matter what genre, you're playing hip hop, you're playing flamenco music.
There you go, your favorite.
One of my all-time favorite genres. But yeah, no, they're an awesome speaker, and then the aesthetics aren't bad either.
Yeah.
They have the piano black, which is right here. They have a white finish too, and then the other one was cherry finish. So
Yep.
there's options for different colors, and yeah,
Yeah.
I give them
2 thumbs up.
a couple of thumbs up.
4 thumbs.
Four
Mark
thumbs up.
only has 1 thumb, but Mark, you give it another. You add to our thumbs.
Great thumbs.
5 thumbs up.
5 thumbs up.
Yep. So, thank you very much for listening to our spiel, and feel free to subscribe so you can pick up on other tech tips we might offer or other new products are coming out. And thank you very much.
Yep. Any questions, comments below? Have a good one.
Thank you.